My marriage fell apart started like any other day. There was no dramatic argument. No warning sign flashing in front of me. Just an ordinary Tuesday morning filled with routines I had followed for years. My name is Rachel, and for 12 years, I believed I had a happy marriage. My husband, Michael, wasn't just my partner. He was my best friend. We met when we were young, built our careers together, bought our first home together, and dreamed about growing old together. At least, that was the future I believed we were building. Looking back now, I realize I ignored many small signs. The late-night phone calls. The sudden business trips. The moments when he seemed distracted while sitting right beside me. But after 12 years, trust becomes automatic. You stop questioning things because you believe the person beside you would never hurt you. And that was exactly my mistake. One evening, Michael left his laptop open on the dining table while he took a shower. I wasn't snooping. I was simply cleaning up after dinner when a notification appeared on the screen. At first, I almost ignored it. Then I saw the message. Last night was perfect. I already miss you, Red Heart. My heart immediately dropped. I stared at the screen, hoping I had misunderstood. Maybe it was a colleague. Maybe it was sent to the wrong person. Maybe there was some explanation I couldn't see. But deep inside, I already knew. Something was terribly wrong. For several minutes, I stood frozen in place. The sound of running water echoed from upstairs while my entire world seemed to stop moving. And for the first time in 12 years, I felt afraid of what the truth might be. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that message. The next morning, I watched Michael carefully. He smiled. He kissed my forehead. He told me he loved me. And somehow, those words hurt more than anything else. Because now I wasn't sure if they were real. Over the next week, more strange things appeared. Phone calls he quickly declined. Messages he hid. Plans he never mentioned. The puzzle pieces slowly started fitting together. Then one Friday afternoon, everything changed. Michael called to say he would be away for another weekend business trip. His voice sounded calm. Normal. Practiced. After we hung up, something inside me finally broke. Instead of believing him, I decided to verify the truth. A decision that would change my life forever. I checked the hotel he claimed to be staying at. There was no reservation. No booking. Nothing. My hands shook as I realized what that meant. For 12 years, I had trusted this man with my heart. But what I didn't know that day was that the lies were much bigger than I imagined. Because Michael wasn't simply hiding an affair. He was hiding an entirely different future, one that didn't include me. And I was about to discover it. The following weekend became the most painful weekend of my life. I followed him. Something I never imagined I would do. Part of me still hoped I was wrong. Part of me desperately wanted an innocent explanation. Instead, I watched Michael pull into the driveway of a house I had never seen before. A woman opened the front door. She smiled. And then she hugged him like she had done it 1,000 times before. My chest felt tight. I could barely breathe. The man I had trusted for over a decade was standing in front of another life. A life he had hidden from me. I sat in my car and cried until I couldn't cry anymore. But the heartbreak didn't stop there. Over the next few weeks, I quietly investigated. The truth became worse with every discovery. The relationship had been going on for nearly 3 years. 3 years. 3 years of lies. 3 years of pretending. 3 years of coming home to me after spending time with someone else. Every new piece of information felt like another crack in my heart. I questioned everything. Every anniversary. Every family vacation. Every promise. Had any of it been real? For a while, the pain consumed me. I stopped sleeping properly. I stopped enjoying things I once loved. I felt lost inside my own life. But eventually something changed. One morning, I looked at myself in the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back at me. That was the moment I realized something important. Michael's choices were destroying me because I was allowing them to define me. And I refused to let that continue. I hired a lawyer. Organized documents. Collected evidence. Prepared myself emotionally and financially. The more prepared I became, the stronger I felt. Meanwhile, Michael continued acting as though everything was normal. He still smiled. Still made future plans. Still spoke about vacations we would supposedly take together. The irony was almost unbelievable. Because while he was busy protecting his secrets, I was quietly rebuilding my future. A future where his lies no longer controlled my happiness. And soon, he would finally face the consequences of every choice he had made. The truth came out on our 12th wedding anniversary. Michael thought we were going out for a romantic dinner. Instead, he walked into a private meeting room. I was sitting there waiting. Along with my attorney. The moment he saw us, his smile disappeared. I calmly placed a folder on the table. Inside were photographs, messages, financial records, and every piece of evidence I had gathered. His face turned pale. For the first time, he realized I knew everything. "I can explain," he whispered. But explanations no longer mattered. The trust had already been destroyed. The future I believed in had already fallen apart. What surprised me most wasn't his reaction. It was mine. I wasn't crying. I wasn't begging. I wasn't asking him to choose me. I was simply finished. After months of pain, I finally felt something unexpected. Peace. Because the uncertainty was over. The truth was finally out in the open. The months that followed weren't easy. Healing never happens overnight. There were difficult days. Lonely nights. Moments when old memories returned unexpectedly. But little by little, my life improved. I reconnected with friends. Started traveling. Focused on myself for the first time in years. And something beautiful happened. I discovered that my happiness had never depended on Michael. It had always been inside me. His betrayal didn't destroy my future. It revealed who truly deserved a place in it. A year later, I stood on a beach watching the sunset and realized I felt lighter than I had in years. The anger was gone. The sadness had softened. The wounds had begun to heal. And for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful again. Looking back, I learned a lesson I will never forget. Trust is precious, but your self-worth is even more valuable. When someone chooses dishonesty, it reflects their character, not yours. And sometimes, the end of one chapter is simply the beginning of a better one. I trusted him for 12 years. Then everything fell apart. But in the process, I found myself again. And that was worth more than any lie he ever told.